Hey, here we are on part 2 of my Raggedy Ann journal. I decided that I would talk to you guys on this one. I know, very kind of me. So, the story behind this junk journal is I made it for myself, and it's the first one that I made for myself. And the reason I did it is because I've had this book almost as long as I can remember. I forced my mom to buy it for me at a yard sale when I was like maybe 5 or 6. I've always loved Raggedy Ann and Andy. Again, since I can remember. When I got the book, it was not in great shape, and it has this inscription here, Linda from Aunt Alice, October 31st, 1944. And I have not found a publishing date on this book anywhere. It does have like copyright and stuff, but I don't know when it was actually printed. Yeah, it's pretty old. The thing is, though, that it's not really worth anything because it was so incredibly messed up. That is, monetarily, it's not worth anything. It's worth $1 million to me because it was my first Raggedy Ann book, and you know, I've had it forever. It's chock full of Raggedy Ann stories. So to me, it's worth $1 million, which is why I wanted to make it into this junk journal, because it was hard to even flip through it and read without it falling apart before, as you saw in the first video. So, yep, this one's for me, and I've deemed it my childhood journaling. It's like my inner child book. So it's really quite colorful, which is exactly how I was when I was a child. Yes, I still am. I put lots of little bright colored beads and strings and lace and all that all over it. I completely redid the spine. I had to take a lot of the spine out because, as you saw in the previous video, it was rotted out, falling apart, held together with the world's oldest duct tape. So yeah, I had to pretty much cut that entire thing out, and I used this really nice paper that matches pretty good with the front cover, and I Mod Podged the life out of it. So now this book is really, really sturdy. I also took the little places that were torn and ripped and falling apart and filled those in with paper as well, and Mod Podged those up too. And there is actually a layer of Mod Podge on here just to keep it from getting, you know, any worse. And I'm telling you, that's some solid stuff right there. So one of the reasons I wanted to show this journal that I made for myself was, you know, not only just to show you the style, but also to show you if you have a really old book that you would like to flip. I can do it. If anyone can do it, I can do it. Okay, so here's the front. And I'm not going to go through this whole thing because, as you can see, there is a lot in there. But we'll flip through it kind of quickly. And also, this will give you an idea of what you can do with the junk journal. And I do include with my junk journals a little paper explaining what a junk journal is, how to use it, stuff like that. So, but this will give you a few ideas. So the front of this book was not in great shape. So, and again, the spine was falling to absolute pieces. So the first thing I wanted to include in here was the picture of me. That was my 3rd birthday, and all I wanted for my birthday was a Raggedy Ann. And when I opened up that package and saw that I got a Raggedy Ann, as you can see, I was pretty stinking excited. And then I found that in a magazine. Thought that was pretty cute. A lot of places in here were ripped or written on, or just in bad shape, and so I've covered a lot of those pieces with stickers and things that remind me of my childhood. Of course, I was an 80s girl, so we did a ton of roller skating. Remember those charms? I don't know, you might be too young. Picture of Bon Jovi, he's the man. I plan on putting a lot more music that I listened to when I was younger in here, but I found that in a magazine, so I figured I'd toss it in there. And like I said, I got this when I was like 6 or 7. This is not my beautiful artwork here. This was from the previous person. I never wrote in this book until now. But I thought it would be cute to keep some of the little smiley faces and stuff in there. That's a picture of me and my brothers. There's my older brother, and that's my younger brother, camping in Colorado. I guess I was probably 5 there. Or no, I would have had to have been 8, actually. Wow, I look young. I guess the older I get, the younger I looked. I just made that because I love white flowers. I always have since I was a little girl, so I wanted to add that. Thought that was kind of cute. And there's lots of places to journal in here too. I thought I'd just journal about things that happened when I was young, or happy memories. The beach is my happy place. When I was a little girl, they had to tear me away from the beach when we went to visit, and my nickname was actually Seaweed because my dad had to tear me away from the seaweed. Oh yeah, if you know, you know. My mom was a cake decorator when I was a little girl, so anything cakey reminds me of my youth. Enough said. Let's see, I was 7 there, and my great grandma, I think, gave me this shawl. I loved it so much. That's me, 8 or 9 maybe, no 8, holding my newborn little baby brother, giving him a bottle. You can see how stinking excited I was about that. I love him. He's a good boy, but yeah, that's how I felt about it. Let's see, I was 7 or 8 there, and this little guy right there is my older brother, and that's my best friend, and that's my brother's best friend, and as you can see, we were all kind of peas and carrots. That was my first little boyfriend. I loved him to pieces, and we are all still in touch. I used a ripped dollar for a tab. Isn't that fun? I just remember getting a dollar bill when I was young, and man, it would go so far. Nowadays, not so much. When I was younger, we had a beehive that the bees had built into the side of our house, and so we had bees in our walls and in our attic, and you could hear them all day and all night bouncing around in the walls. So these remind me of my childhood. Charlotte's Web, one of my favorite books. There's a kid swinging in here with a monster. I loved swinging when I was little. Still do, I guess. Don't get too many opportunities to swing these days. Ice cream, because I'm a huge fan. Always have been, always will be. We went to a river in Colorado when I was little, and it's a water thing, I guess. I just really, really love the water, and I just was so happy to be there. A hot air balloon. When we lived in Las Vegas, when I was like 3 or 4, they had hot air balloons like every morning, and I would go try to chase them. I wanted to catch one so I could get a ride. I never did catch one. That's my birthday month. It's another one of my favorite books. That's my baby picture. I know, that was cute. It's not my actual baby picture. It's a copy of my baby picture, and I glued it onto some cardstock, and then I sewed around it. I think it looks pretty cute. I loved rainbows when I was little. Still do. I was a pretty big fan of yellow and blue. Not so much anymore. This is just some little flowers. I was obsessed with flowers when I was little. You couldn't stop me from picking them, and that was bad, I know, but I did it anyway. This was my favorite toy when I was little. It's a fluffy, fuzzy dog on wheels. Yeah, pretty epic. I love that little guy. Another one of my favorite colors. Kind of a maroon color. That was my theme when I was a kid. My mantra, just be kind. And like I said, a lot of these pages were ribbed, as you can see here, and I just kind of put something behind them so it's sturdies it and it doesn't look quite so weird. But lemons were another thing that I absolutely adored when I was a child and still do. Fresh lemons always remind me of my childhood. My favorite kind of flower. It's not white, but it's a Gerbera daisy. Gerbera, I don't know. Butterflies and flowers. I need to, more bees. I need to put more unicorns in here. I actually have a few more yellow. Love this polka dotty. That reminds me of something I would have had when I was a kid. Party time. I need to put more dance stuff in here too, because I danced a lot when I was little. Jazz, tap, ballet, baton, gymnastics, cheerleading. I did it all, I think. Ballet and tap were my favorite. Didn't do a whole lot to the back cover, but as you can see, it's in way better shape here. And the back, I just put a butterfly there. So that's it. What do you think? Pretty much saved it from the brink of destruction. And I love filling it up with things that remind me of my childhood. Super fun. All right, let me know if you have an idea for a book. Bye.